Mm.
You can hear me properly.
Yes, loud and clear. I think. Yes. On FB, it shows we are live.
Okay.
LinkedIn, and on LinkedIn also it shows that we are live.
Cool.
Okay. So we'll wait for the people to join.
You've sent me the link?
Yep. I sent you the link. I'm also sharing it. So all those who have joined us, thank you. Good morning. We decided to start or log in 5 minutes before the time. We'll obviously begin the talk by 11:30. Just sorting out the logistics. Okay, 2 more minutes to go. So all those watching us, something that I've already mentioned, there may be a slight lag due to the streaming, so please bear with us. And we'll begin within a minute. It's like the Japanese way of starting business on Friday.
Oh, yes. And if people have joined, I want to know who they are.
All right. And it is 11:30. Okay, let's begin. So good morning, everyone, and welcome to the inaugural episode of Leadership Narratives. So before I get Namita to start sharing her story, I'll just give you a quick background of why Leadership Narratives. So through this series, we will delve into the inspiring stories of leaders who've rewritten their narratives, leaving a lasting positive impact. Now, this series aligns with SAMAKSH's overarching vision of cultivating a purpose driven community of professionals and entrepreneurs dedicated to making a meaningful impact through the power of their purpose and personal stories. These leaders have courageously embraced change. They've let go of fears and beliefs to pursue their purpose. Despite uncertainties, their narratives empower them to thrive and create a meaningful impact in their fields. So, my first guest under leadership narratives is Namita Shirgaonkar, an experienced executive search professional who believes in the evolution of two P's, people and the planet. Something I'm eagerly waiting to understand and learn more from her. She's empowered executive level leaders to transition into their dream jobs while also making a positive impact on our planet through sustainability initiatives. Namita will share her story, revealing how a powerful narrative motivates her to find solutions for people and the planet. Welcome once again, Namita. And before we begin, would you like to say a few words to all those who are watching us?
Oh, yes. Thank you so much. Thank you, Rujuta, for joining in early. So, Akshay, Aki, like I call you, thank you so much again. Like I said, I'm so glad that you're doing this. And
Right,
it has honestly given me that time to reflect, upon my journey. So
right,
I'm all set to share, what I've, the, path that I'm treading, like you said,
right,
that I've
right.
taken. So ready to
Absolutely.
share and all set to hear what you want me to
Yes,
say.
yes. Excellent. So let's begin. So, Namita, what's your story? Now, this is one of my favorite questions. So, what's your story?
Well, I know, I mean, that's my favorite one too, because like I said, I could reflect upon it. And, if I go back, I'm an engineer turned executive search consultant and who was dreaming to become an architect. So many variables. So little did I know that someday, I will enjoy partnering with oil and gas companies while also taking a liking to a sustainable living. And I think exploring myself has worked very well for me. It has showed, I would say, light at the end of the tunnel. So
Right.
yeah, that's my story in short.
Excellent. I liked the word exploring. And exploring our life story is what gets us closer to ourselves, right? And
True.
enables us to find the reason for living, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think coming to the exploring part, coming to the reason for living. So, in your opinion, why do you think it is crucial for us as humans to discover our life's purpose?
Again, an interesting one. I think, like you said it rightly, purpose-driven life is, extremely satisfying, and
Right.
it gives you a meaning. It gives a meaning to your existence, I would say.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And once we find our purpose, we can do anything to make it possible.
Correct.
uh, so finding purpose, and I would say it's a journey. It's not that you think that I want to find purpose and it's a task for the day and it happens
Correct.
overnight. It's a journey. And in my
Correct.
journey, I've started believing that you need to fall and fail,
Correct.
uh, in order to know where you want to be.
Absolutely.
And incidentally, I attended this conference last weekend. It was a, sort of a seminar where the dean of one of the institutes in Mumbai,
Mhm.
narrated her experience on this very topic. And
Right.
what she said really stayed with me. She said was that, you know, that one starts finding purpose of their being when they have achieved stability in their career and on the personal front. Now,
Absolutely.
if I reflect upon it, I think certainly that's true. But I think purpose also could help you find that stability in your career and personal life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's I really liked it. And I think more than stability, it is also about, like, you may be doing so many things in your career, but there's one thing that really comes naturally to you, and you may not even know that that is your calling, right? So
Oh, yeah.
it's I completely agree. You know, it's either your stability in here that allows you to discover that, or as you're getting deeper into what you're doing, you realize that that is what your calling is, and that brings in that calmness, that brings in that stability, right?
You said it.
Excellent. Yes.
On
Yes.
point.
So, so speaking of which, what has been that one narrative that keeps you moving ahead on your path as a leader? वो कहानी का वो
Um,
कौन सा नुक्स या नुस्खा है जो आपको आगे लेके जाता
yes. I would say knowing my life's worth
है?
can create create an impactful or a meaningful impact
Hmm.
would be that narrative.
Right. And when you say that meaning, so if you have to derive that meaning, so like if there's someone who actually wants to you know really define that meaning, how did you realize that that is what it is that I need to be doing?
Like I said, you have to attempt, you have to fall, you have to fail in order to realize. And in the end, you realize that, so during that course, I think you have that self awareness.
Hmm.
You start understanding what your strengths are, you
Correct.
start understanding what really drives you.
Correct.
And the most important thing that I think is the takeaway for me is knowing the self worth.
Absolutely.
You
Right.
that I'm worthy of this, I bring a lot to the table,
Right.
and that
Absolutely. And that
keeps
makes a
going.
difference. The reason I asked for narratives is it is this narrative which is obviously it is derived through our early life experiences, our beliefs, our emotions and thoughts that keep playing, and that is what creates the narrative. The narrative then defines your identity. So when your narrative is that this is who I am and this is what my worth is, you are eventually moving yourself towards taking actions that are closer to your purpose, and which is why having that empowering narrative is extremely important. Yeah,
Yes.
thanks for sharing your perspectives on that. Now we'll talk more about your current profession. You said
Yeah.
you are an engineer. You wanted to get into architecture. So how did you get into talent acquisition? How did this happen? And what pushed you to it?
um so it's kind of funny. I would call it funny because like you said, early life and childhood memories, etc. So this is one of that, where talent acquisition or executive search,
Hmm.
let me put it that way, is
Right.
not a career by choice,
Right.
right? But I started working as one because it was like a how to, decide project
Correct.
to take up the future course of my studies post engineering. And,
Hmm.
I started doing it. And like I said, I never knew that I would land up here. But the curiosity, the drive to learn, and making mistakes, acknowledging them, and
Right.
finding solutions has brought me where I am today. So I'm so
Correct.
grateful that I had that. By chance I kind of stumbled upon that so-called
Hmm.
project that I put it up, and I'm grateful to my father. I would say that he sort of pushed me to do this. Of course, the outcome that he was looking for was different, but I'm sure he is also very happy
Right.
where I am today. So yeah,
Right.
I
Right.
think
Right.
it happened by chance,
Okay.
and through that journey, I could find my purpose.
Correct. And then when that happened, how did you kind of So I'm sure when you started off, it would be with say people working with people across levels and not just the executive, uh, right? So how did you kind of find your path through that through those levels?
Trials and tribulations, experiments of what drives me, what doesn't,
Correct.
and in the end, if you actually look at it, when someone says this is the job description,
Mm.
okay, or this is the person that one needs to hire, this is the leader that one needs to hire,
Correct.
uh, there is a huge you know importance of finding what is the purpose behind it.
Right.
What is the
Absolutely.
purpose behind
Absolutely.
finding that one person? So it's many things put together, and then when I started seeing the true meaning of being a search consultant,
Mm.
uh, the value creation that I can give,
Correct.
that's something which is more important than just matching keywords or
Correct.
finding the best fit or finding that. So I think whatever gives a meaning
Mm.
to something, whatever really resonates with me is something which I feel that keeps pushing me, or that keeps me going and doing what I do.
Through this
I
conversation
think there was
is there
was
was a
there
lag.
a
Yes, there was a lag. Yes, yes,
yeah, there was.
yeah, yeah. What Bruno? What I'm saying is, what I am enjoying through this conversation is the fact that there is a lot of importance being given to the ability to learn, the ability to allow yourself to make mistakes, allow yourself to fail, not let that impact you. And most importantly, even when you are helping organizations find the right fit, the right leaders, it's your intent behind that is to help them align it with their mission, with their overall purpose, and getting them to find the right person, and even for the right person to understand if you're moving into this job, why is it
Oh
that you want to
yes,
be here, right?
correct.
So excellent. I
What
mean, that is what is
motivates?
needed. Absolutely. It's just not. It's just not about uh, filling in the blanks. It's about finding the right fit and fit for purpose, fit for the overall mission, for the purpose as well as the organization. So excellent. So
So I would
which is
say
why.
yes.
Hmm. Go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry. So I would say yes. It is filling in the blanks also,
Okay.
because it's a consultative approach, right?
Hmm.
There are so many times that, like you said rightly, that you really aren't sure what you want to be or what is your purpose,
Correct.
and there are a lot of incidences, a lot of experiences, a lot of people
Hmm.
who make you realize that this is what it is. So when you're finding that right person for the right company and finding the right career for the
Hmm.
person,
Correct.
uh, there are many blanks which you help filling.
Correct. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm sure I think ये सब करने में काफी लोगों ने आपको दुआएं भी दी होंगी, getting us the right people. Right? Good. So now let's talk about something that you love doing, something that is very close to your heart. So how and when did you realize sustainability was a part of your calling, and what motivates you to protect our environment?
Wow, that's close to my heart. Um, so my sister is my first source of inspiration, I would say, and which led me to bring home a composter. And I think that was the beginning of the sustainability chapter in my life. You learn so much about circularity. You start reading, you start following people, you form a community, and then you become even more curious, to know more. So when failed attempts, frustration, or even criticism, did not deter me, I knew that this is for a lifetime.
Correct.
So climate change, and today, if you see, it's so tangible.
Yeah.
You can feel it, and a lot of people. And this is not just today. People have been working on it tirelessly since many decades, 2, 3 decades, I would say,
Right.
right? But today, everyone is feeling that,
Mm.
and uh, you know, so people still take it casually, I would say, as
Mm.
in you rely on the systemic change without realizing that we have the power, right, to bring in that
Correct.
change.
Correct.
So knowing that my son is watching me, and that I'm upbringing, a child. who will become a conscious and mindful person
Correct.
by and by influencing his thinking in a big
Mm,
way.
mm,
I think that keeps me going. And ultimately, I think they are the ones, right, who have to pivot and navigate
that-
on a hotter planet.
Correct. Correct.
Um, Also, Aki, what I feel is it is not about protecting the environment.
Mm,
It's protecting the planet.
mm,
It's for your own health,
absolutely.
and the other will follow.
That. I'm glad you said that because one thing that I keep saying, and of course it's not just me, it's even Ayurveda, even psychology says that what is inside is outside. So if you are obviously keeping yourself clean, if you're taking good care of yourself, your surroundings, your home, then eventually you will probably move towards the space where you are focusing on considering the planet, the entire planet is your home, and taking good care of it. It's excellent, and I think that is what uh, we need as a country to move towards a space where we are keeping not just our homes clean, but even our minds and our external environment, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
थोड़ा बात करते हैं आपके डे टू डे लाइफ के बारे में. So if you could take through your typical day in your life, we'd love that.
Okay, interesting again, which also kind of, making me
Mm,
take a pause and think. So I would say mornings are more of, stretching while watching my mini urban garden,
mm,
and then listening to Govindraj Ethiraj's The Core
right.
Report. I've taken a
Correct.
liking to that.
Correct.
Um, Feeling elated that also feeling elated that I have completed one more day of my intermittent fasting. I think that's also
Oh,
something which
nice.
I like to celebrate.
Mm,
Some family time, of course, before I start my work day, and that adds that humor, right? You start your day on the
right.
right foot. um, and as a side note, I would say learn so much by just being a parent as well.
Correct. Correct.
um, so we work in a hybrid model, and depending on the day, I generally like to chart out my day very well. And then I would say, of course, it's more of read, network, taking breaks. Taking breaks is important. Moving is important, and repeat all of this. So that's
Right.
how my day is, and I remind myself to charge by recharge. I would say by thinking about the goal, so that
Mm,
it keeps me on that path, and I
correct.
write to declutter my mind. uh, so by the day's end, I'm a happy, exhausted person.
Nice. I like that. Happy, exhausted person. Very nice. So I think it's extremely essential for us to have that goal or that intent in mind and consciously keep reminding ourselves about that intent or that goal in mind. So one thing that I do is what is my intent for today, and what is the impact that I want to create. And then once that is in your head, you know how the day is going. And obviously, you need to be flexible enough to allow yourself to tread through those murky waters. Right?
Absolutely.
Choppy rides. So I remember one of my ex bosses would often say, when I'd just taken over the leadership role, he's like, don't expect your day to be a smooth ride. Just expect that it's going to be a choppy ride, uh,
Hmm.
and just keep pushing yourself, just keep encouraging yourself. If by the end of the day it's a normal ride, you'll be happy. And if by chance it's a choppy ride, you already knew it was going to be choppy, so this will be fine. So yeah, I think that's what right.
Nice. I like that. Yes.
All right. So something that I'd been looking forward to, something that people also may be looking forward to, because that was mentioned in your introduction. So how do you balance finding solutions for people and planet? Uh, we would like to know that.
Right. Um, so I think I'll connect this back to finding my purpose. And like I said, I feel content by knowing that the experience that I have to offer
Hmm.
will, and the lives that I touch upon
Correct.
are going to make them happy, as in those
Hmm.
lives are going to be happy. And most importantly, in turn, me. So
Right.
that happiness is very, very important. Loving yourself is very, very important. And when you are happy doing what you're doing, you find a way to balance it out.
Right.
So I mean, it happens naturally, I would say. I don't have to really, divide my day or, say, okay, look, 50% of my day is going to be people and 50% is going to be planet.
Right.
Not really, because I think it's all intertwined. Like I said,
Right. Right.
you think about your own
Correct.
health, you think about your mental, physical health,
Hmm.
and if you are happy, you sort of spread that, and you think of ideas and solutions for
Correct.
both. And so even if I have to, let's say, stretch or go that extra mile, I will do that because I think it's all worth it.
Right. Absolutely. Excellent. So it's
I
not
hope that
just
helps.
no, no, it does, it does. I'm sure. So we'll so all those watching us, I hope you've been following the conversation. If you have any questions for Namita, please do post it, and we'll get her to answer your questions. If there's any specific question, you could do that. Um, so
I
we'll,
can
we'll
see
give you a minute.
Rachna. Yeah, yeah. I can see Rachna there. Good morning, Rachna.
Yes.
So
Good morning,
Rachna
Rachna.
and I go way back.
Mhm.
We used to go to German classes in the Mumbai University.
Oh,
Long,
nice.
long back. I think about 10 years, more than 10 years.
So, very nice. Excellent. So if people have questions, I think keep just posting it, and we'll get Namita to answer. All right. So moving on, you've already spoken about your purpose in life, your mission. Now let's dig slightly deeper. So with a clear purpose and a mission in life, how do you tackle challenges at work and beyond work? Uh, so I think it's it because as leaders, all of us, are, probably challenges are a part of the game. So how do you keep a track of that? How does your narrative help you in managing those challenges?
Great. So I think that's a great question, and I'm happy you asked that. Uh, so one of my colleagues posted this the other day,
Hmm.
and I would like to read that. He said that you cannot wish for both a strong character and an easy life. The price of each is the other, and that hit home.
Hmm.
So it takes patience and perseverance to tread on a purpose driven path, I would say, and it throws all kinds of surprises at you. Like your boss also said, you
Correct.
always plan for the worst or whatever. I mean, whatever works for you, I would say.
Correct.
So some
Correct.
are pleasant surprises, some are ugly, and
Right.
but what keeps me grounded and in a way is my social circle
Hmm.
of cheerleaders and well-wishers. Right, it's very important. They are great source of inspiration, I
Right.
feel, and my belief is the fact that doing what makes me happy and content.
Hmm.
I think those two things and the social circle that I spoke about uh, really keeps me going. And when your husband starts carrying his own bottle anywhere and everywhere you go, I think that's the proof of the pudding. Let me
Correct.
put it that.
Right.
Also, I have learned to breathe.
Excellent. That is what is needed. Uh, I'm glad you said that because it's something that I keep telling people through my session is that you need to breathe because breathing is just not about breathing in and breathing out. It's about aligning with yourself. It's about because breathing is the only source of life, right? वो हिंदी और मराठी में जो शब्द है विश्वास, तो विश्वास इस शब्द में ही श्वास है। तो अगर हमने श्वास नहीं या सांस नहीं ली, मतलब we don't trust ourselves and we don't trust the people now. So if you want to trust yourself, if you want to align with yourself, then please follow what Namita has been saying, which is breathe. Excellent. Glad you said that.
We take it for
For
granted otherwise.
yes, for the benefit of all those watching us, if you could repeat uh, the 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 statement your friend shared with you. I loved it, and I'm
Okay.
sure people listening and watching us also may have loved
All right. So he said, you cannot wish for both a
it.
strong character and an easy life. The price of each is the other.
Absolutely. Strong character and an easy life. Absolutely. True.
Yeah.
And as movies
I'll
में भी
let him
दिखाते
go.
हैं ना, yeah, just tell him I feel like it. So वो भी होता है ना कि मूवी में बोलते हैं कि will the heartbeat, if it goes straight, it's the end of the line. So it's up and down.
Yes.
Nice. All right. So up and down, ups and downs के connection में ही हम बात करेंगे, which is let's now move back to your executive search consulting, which is and talking about the trends, ups and downs, so trends. So what according to you, or what's your perspective on the top three trends or innovations shaping the future of executive search?
So, Aki, when you talk about innovation or trends, I would say
Hmm.
there's so AI is definitely taking over, right?
Right.
There's so many tools and applications which is making life easier, and obviously they are disrupting other functions as well. Good.
Right.
Uh, but I would say as so that is a shift, and talent acquisition has definitely undergone a paradigm shift
Hmm.
over the past few years. So, like I said earlier, it's no longer about matching jobs or
Hmm.
keyword searches. It's more about you know the client and candidate fraternity looking for partners and advisors,
Right.
and fulfilling a mandate is about, again, which I had mentioned earlier, it's about finding the right fit. So having
Right.
conversations around the purpose, conversations around the culture, conversations around the motivators.
Hmm.
I think that is something which definitely would
Hmm.
trend any point in time.
Correct.
And most importantly, I think customer experience. I think customer experience, be it candidate, be it client,
Hmm.
is something which no AI tool can do.
Hmm. Correct. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So yes, so I think the human touch and the
Hmm.
experience
Correct.
is what counts and what differentiates.
Absolutely. So it's about maybe aligning, as we discussed earlier. It's about aligning what are the the purpose of the person looking for the job. What is his purpose? Is it aligning with the organization's overall mission and purpose, so that
Yes.
there is a fit at every level, and it's about moving away from being just an executive search consultant. It's getting into the partnership, partnering, and creating an experience for yourself, for the end customer, and for this organization. So excellent.
Yes.
Right,
Yes.
right. Now there's a message
Yes.
from Karishma. So I think let me just read what she's mentioned. Thank
Yeah.
you, Karishma, for this. Hi, Namita, lovely session. Even though everyone wants to have work-life balance, but still it is something difficult for a lot of people in the corporate world, especially with cutthroat competition and targets to achieve. How does one keep that balance? Yes, I love the culture at my workplace. It's a good question. You want to take that,
Yes.
Namita?
Yes. Cutthroat competition. Okay. So I think let me tackle with that
Hmm.
cutthroat competition. So I would say for me, I don't want to be a part of the rat race.
Hmm.
I feel I'm unconventional. I think differently is probably because of which the competition never really affects me. I'm not
Correct.
saying that it never did. It did, of course, it did. Even I'm made of flesh and bones, right? So
Hmm.
it did, but I think it helped me become stronger and taking my point about knowing the self worth.
Absolutely.
So even if I cannot do something which someone else can,
Hmm.
does not really hamper my goal or my, I would say, narrative.
Correct.
And that's why you have to be true to yourself. You have to, it's a constant journey of exploring yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I hope that helped, Karishma. I mean, it's easier said than done, I would say.
Yes.
Okay, it's easier said than done. But if it's easy, again, when we talk about strong character, easy life,
Hmm.
if it's
Hmm.
easy,
Hmm.
I don't think, you
Correct.
know, leaders would be doing what they're doing.
Correct. Absolutely. Absolutely. And thanks for sharing your views on that, Amita. Karishma, I hope that answered your question.
I love the culture at my workplace too, Karishma. That's why I'm there for so many years.
Right. And Rachana says, absolute delight to see the creative, warm-hearted Namita, whom I met, grew into a strong, affirming leader. Excellent.
Thank you,
Nice.
Rachna. We'll talk soon.
All right. So, if this wasn't your calling, if you weren't, an executive search consultant, or if sustainability was not what you've been doing, what would Namita be doing? Plan
I
B
think
क्या है?
writer. I think there is no plan B. Like you say, there is no there is only one planet. There
Yeah,
is no planet.
correct.
Anyway, I think writer. I think
Writer.
I might have become a writer. I'll tell you why. There's a small
Hmm.
anecdote there. So I found myself feeling a sense of achievement every time I write.
Hmm.
uh, and I become a bit nostalgic also because there was a teacher in my 10th standard, Dr. A.D. Zoshi sir,
Hmm.
and he had advised me to
Right.
become a writer.
Correct. Oh, nice.
Uh, Probably he would have seen my essays or my longish answers. And
We
I
all love
always used
doing
to
that.
write. Yeah, I always used to write in those cards, or even if I give something,
Hmm.
there used to be a personal note attached to it. Probably
Nice.
that.
Good.
Yeah,
You could
he had told
maybe.
me you should.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So he had advised me to become a journalist. Of course, journalist, that doesn't really resonate with me, but maybe writing books or something like that. Maybe.
Yeah, you could have always write books. Right? Solutions for
Maybe.
people and planet. The P's,
Oh
the two
yes.
P's.
Oh yes.
Correct. Correct.
Yes.
All right.
When I have my own house, a sustainable house, maybe
Hmm.
sitting on the
Correct.
rooftop
Yes.
and
Absolutely.
things might just.
Why why not? Why not? Yeah. Now for people getting into senior leadership roles. So, what according to you should or what mindset is essential for fostering a meaningful and positive impact for all those getting into senior leadership roles? And I think across, not just senior leadership, but because you are
Right.
that is your target audience. I thought I
Yes. Right. Absolutely. Uh, so firstly, let me put it this way: for a leader, I think gravitas is very important. And to back that, like you mentioned about fostering a meaningful and positive impact, to back that, I think continuous learning,
Hmm.
empowerment,
Correct.
creating an environment of trust, and being an empathetic person, being agile, and last but not the least, I would say staying true to your narrative.
Absolutely.
Very, very important.
It is. It
Because
is.
positive energy is contagious, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Those are my two
And that is
bits.
what is needed, right? It's your empathy, it's your compassion. It's about staying true to yourself and true to the narrative, because the narrative is what is driving us. Okay?
Absolutely.
So excellent. Now coming to my final, the last question. You've already spoken about it, but if you could just summarize it. So if you had to summarize your life mission, so what is your life mission and what impact do you aim to make in the world? And how? I promise this is my
Mission.
last question.
Okay, good. It was a nice Saturday morning, I would say, start to it. Well, mission is too profound, I would say, uh, right now. But I would like to be a beacon of hope, in a world which is yearning to change, yearning for a
Right.
change, and continue to lead the charge towards, I would say, a better and brighter tomorrow.
Hmm.
How? I would say by staying focused on the purpose that I have.
Correct. Correct.
And why? You asked why? Why?
Hmm. How? How?
Uh, how is by staying focused,
Hmm. Now you
right?
can answer
And
why if you want.
why also? Okay. So why? Because I want to wake up to be me every day,
Hmm.
or
Nice.
wake up every day to be me. Let me put it that way.
Yes, that is what is needed here. Authenticity is the only key that we need to have to move ahead in life. Right?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your thoughts on that. We have a message from Vaishali. So it is
Hey,
great to see you there.
Vaishali.
And what an apt person to do this. It is heartening to see how you've evolved to be this ingenious leader and consultant that you've turned out to be. How did you manage to clear the fog and pave this path? Well, we may know, but for the benefit of many who are treading that path.
Ah,
Yes, that's a good question.
okay. How do you manage to clear the fog? Yes, very important to filter the noise, right?
Hmm.
Filter out the noise.
Correct.
So I think that's what I did. Uh, like I said earlier, I wanted to better myself as a person. So, what is it that make me a better me today than I was yesterday? And what is it that people would look up to me for? So when I started getting those answers, I started getting answers to what triggers, what drives me, what makes me feel happy and content about myself.
Hmm.
uh, is when I think I started paving this path. And Aki, again, the whole topic, the whole discussion that you have about that narrative, the purpose,
Hmm. Hmm.
I think it takes me back to that, the purpose. Once you find
Correct.
that goal, once you find uh, the existence of yourself, then I think
Correct.
it starts answering those questions. And important is to stay on that path, and that's why I said that keep reminding yourself. You might
Correct.
waver, right? You might waver, you might get feel lost also
Hmm.
at times. uh, but if you remind that, okay, this is why I am doing this, or this is where I want to be, I
Yeah.
think you come right back on track.
Correct. Yes.
Was that what it is that you know of me, Vaishali?
Yeah, I hope that answered your question, Michelle.
We'll take that offline.
Yeah. So others, if you have any questions, I'm done with my questions. We'll give you a minute. But overall, thank you, Namita, for an insightful session. What I'm taking back with me is obviously the importance of having a very empowering narrative. And in your case, it is allowing yourself to fail, allowing yourself to make mistakes, but being conscious of those mistakes and failures, not letting it impact you. and learning from those, setbacks, and creating a path, and reminding yourself about your true authentic self, staying aligned with your life's calling, and keep moving ahead in that direction. So thank you very much
Absolutely.
for sharing that. Others, do
Yes.
you have any questions? If you have, do share it. You know, I'll give you a minute to do that. And maybe while you do that, I would maybe like to take this opportunity to talk about a 90-minute talk that I'll be facilitating in the month of April, titled Kahani, What's Your Story? So obviously, this is a part of a 4-hour work talk where I intend to help people reflect on their life story, on their life's narratives, providing them with tools to unleash the power of their purpose and personal stories for creating a meaningful impact. So all those following me can continue to follow me to learn more about this free 90-minute talk on my LinkedIn page. But having said that, I would like to thank you all for being here today with Namita and me. And Namita, once again, thank you for the time and effort you've invested in this initiative. I'm sure all those watching have also resonated with your thoughts and are inspired to reflect on their narratives to rewrite their story. So, people, I hope you found this insightful. Keep reflecting on your narratives because, as we discussed, it is this narrative that drives our behaviors, our actions, and the story of our life. Yeah. So keep reflecting and stay inspired because something that I love saying, kahani abhi baki hai, mere dost. Now, this is something you can expect me to say being a movie buff. Okay. Thank you, Rachna and Karishma.
Thank you so
Thanks.
much, everyone. I can see the messages coming in.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
so glad I did this. I'm so glad that you had this session, and I'm looking forward to the next speaker as well next
Yes,
month.
yes. It's happening next month. Yes, we'll be here with yet another leader. Her name is Jyoti Sapra. She's an executive coach and a leadership development coach. She's been in this industry for the last 20, 25 years. She's based out of Singapore and a lovely personality, just like you. I look forward to that as well. So thank you. Thank
Yes.
you all those who are here today. And thank you, Namita, once again. We'll share the link of this live video soon. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Pleasure. Pleasure.
Thanks.
Thank you.